morning, dears. Now we are continuing with the chapter Biotechnology Principles and Processes, and we have discussed many things in this chapter. First of all, we have discussed about different tools in a recombinant technology. So we need all these are carrying out for obtaining a desirable DNA. So for the production of a recombinant DNA, we need to isolate a DNA, the desirable DNA, by using a restriction enzyme, isn't it? So by using a restriction enzyme, the desirable DNA is cut away from a host, and it is then incorporated to a cloning vector, isn't it? Because the cloning vector is necessary to transfer the alien DNA into another host or bacteria. So we have discussed about a cloning vector. So what is a cloning vector? A cloning vector contains different features, like it should be having an origin of replication. What is an origin of replication? It is the DNA sequence in which the replication initiates, or the replication is getting started. And the copy number of the desirable DNA, the alien DNA, is based on the origin of replication. And the next feature, important feature, is a selectable marker. The selectable marker will help to identify the transformants and the non-transformant. What is a transformant? A transformant is the organs of the bacteria in which the desirable DNA is or the desirable vector is to be transferred, or it is to be entered into the host cell. So it is known as a transformant, and we could if it is not entered into the host cell, it is called as a non-transformants. Okay, so within the transformants itself, there are two types: recombinants and non-recombinants. What does a recombinant mean? A recombinant is the when the desirable DNA or the alien DNA is incorporated to the host DNA or the DNA of the bacteria. We can call it as a recombinant DNA. So when it is not incorporated, when it is not get attached to the plasmid DNA, it is called as a non-recombinant DNA. So in transformants itself, there are recombinants and non-recombinants, and we have already also discussed about what is a cloning vector, PBR322. It is an artificial cloning vector in E. coli. So the picture of PBR322 you may have familiarized with the help of your textbook itself, and I have already given the pictures and the detailed description of the PBR322 in the previous class also. So PBR322 contain two antibiotic resistance genes, that are ampicillin resistant gene and tetracycline resistant gene. And there also have certain sites like BAM H1 site, PVU1 sites, and like many sites are also there in each DNA. So there is antibiotic resistant gene and tetracycline resistant gene, and also there are the different enzymes that code for that particular genes also. Then we have discussed about how we can identify the recombinants and non-recombinants. So there are mainly two techniques to identify the recombinants and the non-recombinants. The first one is inactivation due to insertion and also insertional inactivation. Okay, these are the two techniques that are used to identify the recombinants and non-recombinants. The former technique, that is the inactivation due to insertion, it is carried out by the following process, like when the desirable DNA or the alien DNA get attached to the BAM H1 side of the tetracycline resistant gene of PBR322. I repeat, when the desirable gene or the alien DNA is attached, it is incorporated to the BAMH1 site of the tetracycline resistant region of PBR322, it will lead to the inactivation of tetracycline gene. So the plasmid of the tetracycline resistant gene will get inactivated by the insertion of this alien DNA. Okay. So when we place the transformants in ampicillin resistant medium and tetracycline resistant medium, only the transformants will grow only in the ampicillin resistant medium, because we already inactivated the tetracycline resistant gene of the plasmid, so that it will not grow in a tetracycline medium. It will only grows in the ampicillin containing medium. Okay, so the transformants will only grown in the ampicillin resistant medium. But the non-recombinant DNA will grown in both the medium. So this is the technique of inactivation due to insertion, so that we can identify the recombinants and the non-recombinants. But in this process, the simultaneous plating of both the antibiotic is required. Both the tetracycline and the ampicillin containing medium is plating is required simultaneously. So there is another effective technique to identify the recombinant and non-recombinant, that is the insertional inactivation. Okay. It is based on the ability to produce a color in the presence of a chromogenous medium. It is based on that particular property, the ability to produce color in the presence of a chromogenic medium. When the recombinant DNA is inserted to the sequence of a enzyme called beta galactosidase, which will lead to the inactivation of that beta galactosidase enzyme, that is called as insertional inactivation. So when the alien DNA is not inserted, so it will produce a blue color in the chromogenic substrate, and when we insert the alien DNA into that, it will lead to the inactivation of beta galactosidase, and which will not cause any color. So that's why, or how that's how we can separate, or we can identify the recombinants and non-recombinant DNA. Okay, so that is insertional inactivation. And also we have discussed about the gene transfer by using certain vectors like Agrobacterium tumefaciens and retroviruses. These Agrobacterium tumefaciens can be used in plants which will cause cancerous cells, and this cancerous cell will produce certain chemicals useful for this bacteria. And also so we need to modify this bacteria because if this bacteria is as such inserted to a plant cell, it will cause cancerous. So we need to modify the plasmid of the bacteria and will produce certain chemicals which is useful for the production of this bacteria. Okay, and retroviruses are used as a vector in the case of animals. So that's all the things we have discussed in our previous classes. So this area is little confusing, but when you study this in a clear way, you can easily approach this portion. So we have prepared a desirable plasmid DNA which contain our alien DNA. So we need to incorporate this alien DNA into a bacterial cell, isn't it? Into a host cell. Why? Because we need to multiply it in more number of copies. So we need to incorporate this plasmid into a host cell. So Since the DNA is hydrophilic in nature, that means it have greater affinity towards water, it will not easily pass through the cell membrane of the bacteria. So we need to make the bacterial cell competent to achieve, to take the desirable DNA. How to make the bacterial cell competent to take up the DNA? It is done by treating the cell with a specific concentration of a divalent cation, so that it will increases the efficiency of the bacterial cell, which will permits the DNA enters into the cell through the pores of the cell wall. And in order to keep the bacterial cell which contains the alien DNA, it should be treated in cold and hot condition alternatively. It is cooled, it is isolated in ice first, and then it is followed by a heat shock about a 42 degrees Celsius, and then again given the incubation in ice. So this kind of temperature treatment will helps the bacteria to take up the recombinant DNA. Okay. So this is one method, and there is another method like micro injection in animal cell. So in that case, the DNA is directly injected to the cell of the host. So in this micro injection, the DNA is directly injected to the nucleus of the animal cell. Micro injection. And the first technique we have discussed about how to by giving temperature treatment, alternative cooling and heating treatment, we have to take up the DNA within the bacterial cell, and by micro injection, the alien DNA is injected directly to the nucleus of the animal cell. And there is another method like in plants. High velocity microparticles which is coated with the DNA. High velocity microparticles of tungsten and gold is treated with this DNA is bombarded into the cells of plants. That is called as biolistics or gene gun. Biolistics or gene gun. So these are the this is a technique used in plant cell. In this case, the high velocity microparticles of tungsten and gold is coated with the DNA, and it is bombarded into the cell of the plant. So that is biolistics or gene gun. And the third method is using a disarmed pathogen. Disarmed pathogen. In this technique, a pathogen can be act as a vector, and it is allowed to infect the cell, and then the recombinant DNA is get transferred to the host cell. Okay, so these are the techniques that we can use to insert the plasmid DNA, the desirable DNA, into a host cell. Okay.
These are the pictures of a micro injector equipments, and this is a microscopic view of a micro injection. This is the biolistics process, that is by using a gene gun.
So far, we have discussed about different tools in recombinant DNA technologies, that are the restriction enzyme that are used to cut the DNA, and there is cloning vectors like PBR322, and there are different features for these cloning vectors, and also about how to transfer these into this recombinant DNA into a host cell. So these are all the tools which can be used in recombinant DNA technology, and next we are going to discuss the processes in a recombinant DNA technology that we will discuss in our next class. Okay, so there are step-by-step processes in this technology which we will discuss in our next class. So I hope all of you understood the basic tools in recombinant DNA technology. And if you have any doubt, you can contact me at any time. Okay, thank you.